Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video we're going to be discussing trading bots, which are a new narrative that is just taking off like crazy right now in crypto. So it's very fresh, it's very new, so be aware of that. It could just fizzle out into nothing, but I thought this was something you might want to be aware of because it's going crazy right now. So if you're wired in on Twitter, on crypto Twitter, you probably saw Unibot go to the fucking moon. And you're probably wondering why this random coin just went a few 100x in the last few weeks. What's so good about Unibot? So Unibot is one of the most popular of these trading bots. So essentially the TLDR on what it does, why it's great and why there's so much utility with this coin. So essentially you can set Unibot up through Telegram with a wallet that you put a bit of ETH into, and it will execute trades on Uniswap on your behalf, even directly from your phone. Now you might think, oh, that's not really that amazing. Who cares if you can do trades through your phone? But the nice thing about Unibot is you can set stuff like limit orders. You can do, so if you didn't know, like on Uniswap you can't do limit orders. If it reaches a certain price and you want to sell, you have to be there at that price, ready to sell at that exact moment. Or if you want to buy at a certain particular price, vice versa. But with Unibot, you can just set a limit order and it will execute the trade for you. It's a bot. The other nice thing about Unibot is that it never has a failed transaction. So if you've ever used Uniswap, the most frustrating thing is when gas fees are like $10, $20, like outrageous in the first place, and then you do your transaction and the transaction fails. It's the most irritating thing in the entire world. It's like $10, $20 gone down the drain for no apparent reason. A lot of the time you don't know why it failed, and then you have to try it again and you're worried that it's going to fail again and lose another $10 or $20. And it also adjusts the slippage to the correct amount so you don't get MEV sandwiched, and it does all those settings for you. So you can't get, if you don't know what MEV like sandwich attacks are, basically people will front run your order and then sell it to you at a higher price and take that tiny bit of margin. So it's just annoying, all these little things that you have to be aware of to use Uniswap perfectly, and most people don't know how to do this. So this is massively increases the UI to use Uniswap. I don't know why Uniswap hasn't incorporated stuff like this itself. However, Unibot has done this all for you, so you can do it all from your phone, and it's just simplifying the process exponentially. Now there's not just Unibot, there's now probably dozens of different coins that have come out that all offer different kind of bot stuff. So for example, another couple of ones that have come out recently is like bridging bots. So everyone knows how annoying, if you've ever had to bridge from one blockchain to another, you know it's a little bit tedious, it's a little bit confusing sometimes. So there's bridging bots now, and there's airdrop farming bots. So these are a couple that I threw a little bit of money into. So for example, the airdrop farming bots, which I'll say all the coins towards the end of the video, of course, I won't leave you hanging, but these airdrop farming bots, you just put a little bit of Ethereum in, you select what coin you want to airdrop farm, and it will do all those transactions for you. It'll make it seem like a human as well. So you just choose the token you want to farm, such as ZK Sync or something, and it will do all the farming for you. Okay, so you might think, okay, these bots have value, or these bots are useful, but what makes this coin useful? So these bots are actually generating an enormous amount of revenue. So you can see right here an enormous amount of usage. Because it's so useful, they're willing to pay a little bit of a fee for the trading bot to actually use the trading bot, because it completely executes the transaction. Like, you don't have to approve the coin to be able to spend it. You don't have to sign anything. All you have to do is tell the bot what to do, and it will do it all on your behalf. So it's essentially creating a front end in crypto, whereas Uniswap and all these apps are going to be the back end. All these bridging websites where they're quite complex, they're going to be the back end, and these bots will be the front end of crypto potentially. And I don't think the front end of crypto is going to end up on Telegram, but you can see where where the potential is. Like eventually there's going to be a website that is the front end for crypto using bots just like this, in my opinion. So this could be a huge narrative in the next bull run. So essentially all these bot coins, or all these bots, are earning crazy amounts of revenue, and they have some sort of revenue, most of them have some sort of revenue sharing with the coin holder. So if you hold like 50 Unibot, I believe, then you get some revenue share from what it's making from all the people using the platform or using the bot. For example, here you can see the Unibot users exploding over the last couple of weeks, and that's why the coin has done so well. These people realized how good the the bot actually is, how useful it is, and then would invest in the coin. So all of these bot coins are still extremely low market cap, apart from Unibot, but there's a lot of bot coins that a lot of people are trying and a lot of people are using, and that are already earning quite a lot of revenue. So they're super low market cap, like less than $5 million, a lot of these bots that are just coming out now. So this is not for the faint-hearted. Personally, I'm using a spray and pray approach. I don't know which one is going to succeed. Probably 99% of them are going to go to zero eventually in the long run. And yeah, this could be just a very short-term fad. Who knows? But I think the risk to reward is potentially there, not financial advice whatsoever. Now, you don't have to invest in any of these coins. You can actually use them because they're actually quite useful. And if you do want to use them, make sure you're not using your main wallet. You load up a fresh wallet with a little bit of Ethereum, some Ethereum you're willing to use, because we don't know, especially if you're using one of these very new bots, like we don't know how trustworthy they are. We don't know how foolproof they are, like if there's any possibility of hacks, etc., etc. So never ever connect your main wallet to anything degenerate like this. So how did I come across Unibot in the first place? So I actually saw Base Carbon. He was putting a tweet out saying like, oh, my 2x became a 3x, and then he would quote tweet that and say, oh, my 3x became a 5x. So when he said that, I was like, okay, I've already missed whatever coin that is. I'm not even going to bother trying to find out what that coin is. And eventually, by the time it got to my 200x became a 300x, I was like, okay, what the hell is this coin? And it turned out to be Unibot. So obviously I was like, I'm not going to be fading Base Carbon again. So next kind of coin that he hinted that he was getting into, I bought some, and that was Bridge. And obviously Bridge is one of the bots that helps you bridge funds. It's a bot that, like, you send your telegram of what you want to do, what bridge you want to use, and what funds you want to bridge, etc. So that's essentially what it does. And I also aped into a bit of loot as well. So that loot essentially helps you airdrop farm. It's an airdrop farming bot. Now I'll leave them in the description, but that's definitely not financial advice. And yeah, these could absolutely go to zero. Now, one of the biggest indications that this trend might not be a fad was this tweet shared by Bobby Ong, one of the creators of CoinGecko, one of the founders of CoinGecko. I'm sure you all know what CoinGecko is, but it's essentially CoinMarketCap. If you use CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko is like another version of that. CoinGecko has already added a new category, and Bobby Ong has went out and said that these trading bots are extraordinarily useful, and he's like, yeah, these are great new technology, super good UI, and yeah, actually have some utility. Unibot is obviously going to be the safest bet. It's by far the best product that I've seen out there. However, like, sometimes you don't want to buy into the thing that's already done a 300x, even though that's often even the best idea if you want to get a safe bet on this narrative. Unibot is definitely the way to go, but I know a lot of us are degenerates here, so we're going to be looking for the coins that are not $80 million market cap, but like around $1 or $2 million market caps. So I mentioned a couple of them here, and I own a couple of them, so I will dump on you if they pump. Don't use this as financial advice or investment advice whatsoever. Again, this is extremely speculative, extremely fresh, and all of these probably are going to go to zero. But some of the ones I've been looking at, Bolt is a competitor to Unibot, and it only has like a $1 million market cap, so 80 times smaller. And who knows if people will ever use it in comparisons to the amount of people that are using Unibot. But, you know, 80 times in the difference, there's a bit of potential there. Loot is the other Telegram bot that I mentioned, which airdrops farms for you. So I'll just describe how how the token actually accrues value for this one. There's a $20 or a $30 subscription fee on each wallet that you want to use to airdrop farm. But if you want to use it for free, they take a percentage cut from your actual airdrop. So they take a percentage from your airdrop once you actually get the airdrop. And the holders of the loot token get 50% of these subscription fees, essentially. So that's how the token actually accrues value for this loot token. And here's a list of a few more of those tokens, and if you want to see the projects that don't have tokens, they're at the top. So if you actually go ahead and use some of those bots, maybe you will get an airdrop, so keep an eye on those. And then the projects without tokens are at the bottom, or sorry, with tokens that you can invest in right now if you wanted to. And I'm using invest here quite loosely. If you want to degenerately gamble on any of these coins, is probably a better word. I'm definitely going to be continuing to keep an eye on this category of coins. If people actually continue to use these bots, if these bots are actually so useful that more and more people get onboarded into using these bots, because if you can actually use Uniswap in a much simpler, better UX way, or if you can farm in it without having to actually go ahead and click all the buttons for farming the token that you want, then obviously there's a huge amount of value there. So I think there is a good chance that these coins continue to run over the coming weeks, months, but obviously there's also a huge chance that these bots they just remain on Telegram and people don't really care in the future. So it's a high risk, high reward play, and who knows which bots are actually going to succeed. You could probably go ahead and use a few of the bots, see which ones you think are the best, or you can just go for the spray and pray approach, which is, and I'm only putting a very, very tiny amount of crypto into any of these coins, like absolutely only an amount that you'd be willing to lose 100% of, because that's the most likely scenario for all of these coins. So you just gotta be aware, and I'll have to be honest about that, these kind of speculative investments. Alright, so be fucking careful with these coins, alright? But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.